You guessed it, back in the Koi house. It is the 18th of January, and you will all know, if you're in the UK, it is incredibly cold at the moment. It's been the coldest it's been for a good few years. -6 this morning when I went out at 8 o'clock, and it's wreaking havoc. The main pond is at 5.7. The indoor, my greenhouse, is currently struggling. It's not been that cold, to be fair. It has been cold of late, the last few years, but not minuses for long periods. We've been quite fortunate, so I think this year will catch a lot of people out. I think it really will, because we're getting told climate change and all this, and we get a couple of periods where it's quite mild in terms of, yeah, we get frost and we get, you know, it's frozen, but not for days on end. And this year we've had it for days on end, you know, really solid ground, and that means frozen pipes, split pipes, and extremes of temperature. So I'm going to spin you around and show you the indoor pond, because I've stopped feeding them 2 days ago, and in anticipation of the cold. I was down to 1 feed a day. Nitrite is 0, brilliant in the blue, but that's coincided now with not really been able to feed them at all. I was hoping to maintain 12, 13, but with the extreme of temperature, it's been too difficult. So what I've decided to do is bite the bullet. I say bite the bullet, I'm not really, because I'm not turning the heaters up. I tweaked them down a couple of weeks ago. Once I thought I got them about right, I tweaked them down a bit, and I think I've possibly gone a bit too much. And with the extreme of temperature, the -6 outside, it's obviously really pushing the demand on the greenhouse, on this area in here. So if I spin you around, the demand in here, bearing in mind this is 2.5, no, hang on, can't remember, it's very tall. Can't remember the dimension. I know it's 8 metres by 1, 2, I think it might be 3. I think it's over 3 metres by a good 3 metres at this side, and then it reduces down something like 2.5 here, 2.6, something like that. I can't remember the volume of here, can't remember it now. I did measure it all out, but so looking at the fish, they are pretty pissed off at the minute, because this here now has gone from averaging say 11, 12 to averaging 9.3, so at the minute it's currently 8.7. 8.7, so the minimum it's been is 8.7. You can see on there, look, temperature 8.7, minimum 8.7. So at the minute it's at its most extreme temperature of minimums. That's because the temperature outside is so low, and the demand on pulling the heat out of this area is great. The demand on the cold concrete here, even though there is this felt underneath it, which feels quite warm actually, but that's in between that and the floor. But like I say, I think I've tweaked them down too much. Once I got it spot on around, I was getting an air temperature of 14 degrees, about 12, 13, 14 degrees in here when I first went for it a few weeks ago, and now I'm getting 9 in here at the moment, 9 degrees. One of the thermometers is playing up, unfortunately, and it was flashing. Even though it weren't saying it needed a battery, it was just flashing. So I'll probably have to replace the battery in that, and hope it's just the battery. But that's saying it's 9.8. The minimum it's been in here is 7.7. And at the moment, the heater is on. So the heater's on, and it's 9.8. So you can imagine, if I tweak this back up, now, it's going to cost me an arm and a leg to heat this area all up to get it back up to 12 degrees in here. The minimum, I had it set the 2 heaters spot on to get 12 degrees air temperature in here, 12 degrees. And I got it where that was transferred, the ambient temperature, 12 degrees air temperature to 12 degrees water temperature. But like I say, I must have tweaked it too much and it's just pulled it down too far. And the fish, either they look happy enough, they're definitely pissed off. They're low, they're not coming around much, a bit sulky. God knows, them at 5.7 degrees in the main pond, they will really be, I think they'll be in torpor now. They'll be just at the bottom of the pond sitting still. So it's not a nice time for a koi keeper if you're unheated. So yeah, so now I'm just in that mind of, shall I tweak them back up again a bit and just leave them on for a couple of days, or shall I hold tight? I thought yesterday, because it was that cold, I thought I just can't eat it up to that. It's just going to cost me too much, so I bottled it, if I'm honest with you. So I turned the feeder off, so that's not feeding at all at the moment, because I thought, well no, it's going to drop. There's going to be a couple more days left of this cold spell, and hopefully come the weekend and come next week it's going to start getting warmer outside again, so the temperature will lift in here. And then what I'll do is I'll probably tweak that back up a bit, so hopefully if they just get a low temperature again like this, it'll not be as bad. That's the downside with having the thermostats built on the actual thermostats. I could get a independent one, and then you've still got to tweak it, because if I put the thermostat on that wall there, obviously on that pillar for example, then the chances are I've got to tweak that to say 14 to get 12 in here. So in some ways it's just a messing about and getting the thermostat right. But I did actually yesterday, last night, tweak that up a bit more, and I tweaked that one up a bit more, because I knew it was going to be cold and I knew I was pushing it, and that's still not enough. And I can feel that's on at the moment, at the minute now. So, and they're 3 kilowatt heaters, so that's 6 kilowatts altogether. But look, they're still happy enough, so I've got to hang tight, give them that, yeah, they're going to be happy enough, and just hang tight for a week or two now. And this is that spell where they are not going to get any food. There's no point feeding them below 9 degrees. Yeah, Sakai will take it, I'm sure it will, but I'm not. I'm going to give them that opportunity to cleanse, whatever you want to call it. They're not going to get any food for a week or so now, and then when that ambient temperature again gets up, tweak them back up. Hopefully the indoor temperature would have risen a bit, the pond temperature would have risen a bit, and then stabilise, and hopefully get February out of the way, and when we get March we should be into the home run. Oh, I booked an holiday for February. I'm going to Gran Canaria for a week. Can't wait. First winter holiday I've ever had. I've always dreamt of doing it. It actually coincides with, I go on the 1st of March actually. It's the first Friday the 1st of March, and the 2nd of March would be the year anniversary of my mum passing away. So that very same week a year ago, I was literally stuck in hospital with my mum in a cancer, the cancer bit for the end of life, for 4 days. So this year I'll be in a warm climate for the first time, and I'm really looking forward to it, because I've never done anything like it before. So hopefully a bit of, well, not hopefully, we should get, compared to the winter here in the UK, I will be going to winter sun, and hopefully by the time I come back a week later, I'll be into the 2nd week of March. Happy days! Going into March and spring. Here we go, koi season coming, and we will soon be into spring. Warm weather, Happy days. See you on the next one. If you subscribe, thanks for the subscription. Got some good news coming up soon. I've purchased a koi from Koi Wholesale, my first one, and more news to come up on that one, because hopefully, fingers crossed, it is a real special one. There was only 10 of them on offer. They're pretty difficult to get hold of. So see you on that one. Happy days. Lots coming up, guys. Lots of exciting stuff coming up. Please hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. 5th of January, and we're just coming out of this cold spell in the UK. It has been really cold for some. I think in Nottingham it's been about -6 maximum, minimum, if you know what I mean. -6. I don't think it's been any lower than that. It has been really cold. I've not had no dramas or anything like that really. I've had a fitting blow off on my greenhouse at the top. It split and it was squirting everywhere. Got about 7 inches of water in that greenhouse. But apart from that, I am unscathed. Apart from the extremes it's put on this greenhouse in here, has been really demanding. It really has. So this pond temperature dropped, I think, to a minimum of about 8. It's now back up to about 9.7. The heaters have obviously been absolutely banging out. So yes, I have seen a few horror stories out there. I look a bit rough at the minute, guys. I've had talking of cold, I've had a 5-day cold. So I'm just coming out the end of that now. Thank God. So hopefully we're going to get some warm temperatures now. Well, not warm, but a few degrees back into the pluses to yeah, settle things down. I think quite a lot of people have been caught out in the UK. There's quite a lot, I think, from down south. I'm in the middle of the UK. So, you know, Scotland and North, they always expect cold. East Midlands, we can get caught out, we get complacent, and I think some people down south, maybe Bristol, Devon, you know, really down south, London, you're used to it being quite mild with this global warming, and I think it's caught a few people out, which is sad, because you're going to see a lot of damage, you know, dead fish, things like that. Fortunately for me, I do winter prep to a degree on my outside pond, and it's basically turning off my shower and turning off my plant filter, so but the returns then back into the pond, and then I've got my pond balls on, because if you don't, what will happen is it's very rare that moving water freezes, so that is unlikely to freeze. But what happens is you get blockages, and where the flow is reduced, it starts to freeze a little bit, and then that frost grows, so then it creates a blockage. So yeah, it's a really harsh lesson, and I've simply not gone there. I've just touched wood, and thank God I turned my shower off, and I turned my plant filter off where it returns into the pond, because where it returned into the pond, where it reduces, that would have probably frozen. It hasn't done in the past, because I've always turned off when I thought that's going to be really cold. Let's get it off, because that water, because it's reduced flow, will freeze over, it will cause a blockage, and then the water will escape somewhere else, and it will empty your pond. That's what happens. It's normally not frozen pipes, because that pond up there, even though it's been -6, the flow through the pond has been absolutely bang on, and it's quite well insulated, and I think my minimum has been about 5.5, 6, which is quite good for an outdoor pond. So I know, even when it was really cold a few years ago, the minimum that pond got was 5 degrees. Okay, so that's not going to freeze. But if it was running over the runoff, that's the weak points. They're the weak points you need to be spotting, guys. So in the future, your winter prep, Don't get tunnel vision with covering this, bubble wrapping this. It's your outlets you've got to watch. It's the outlets you've got to watch on the outdoor ponds. They are the weak points in your pond, because then if they are frozen, the frozen pipe will just keep coming in and in and in. And then if it comes in, it can expand, and that's when you get split pipes and stuff like that. So I'm not going to go on about too much like that. I feel sorry for you guys. I think Vince, you were one of them. It's heartbreaking when you lose koi. I've lost a couple last year, as you know, and it is a pisser. It really is difficult to get out. It's horrible. You feel so guilty. I always liken it to if you lose your wallet. You know, if you leave your wallet somewhere and you go back and it's gone, or a phone or something, you're so angry, aren't you, for days. Affects you. So looking at the pond, don't get your knickers in a twist, guys. It's already had some Seacom safe in there in preparation for the top up. I've cleaned my filters out. That is doing absolutely great now. As you can see, I've got it spot on. I've got it worked all out now. Liking the spray bar. Got it just right. I've blocked some of the holes up with the HA6, as I've probably mentioned before, because I put too many in it when I got too carried away last weekend. This is still doing great. What I have done, I will show you. When I've got this, there's like a coffee filter in here, and quite a few people use them. And what I've done, because I don't want to get my hands wet and cold all the time, I've actually, because it's the actual diameter of this is slightly smaller than the diameter in there. So this must be like, I don't know, 289 or something. You know, I think that's 3 inch. I think that's 3 inch. But anyway, when you put that in there, it don't always line up, and you get gaps around the edge, so you have to put your hand in and try and get it matched up. Well, with this now, I can just drop this in, look, to the muck. That's saved, look, going back into the pond and filter. That's the beauty of these. When you put the filter back on, because you've disturbed it, to save you leaving it to settle down for a while before you turn it all back on, you can literally get one of these, and it acts as a filter, look, so it's not going back into the pond and stuff. And all I've got, because I've got orchids, I've got these hanging jobbies, and I've got this small one, and all I've done is simply bent it so it's in line, and then just got some blobs of HA6 black. I know it's crude, but it works. So I can just pop that in now and not get my bloody hands wet. That's how my brain works. Moving bed's doing alright. We're getting a bit of accumulation there, because I think that's where this bubbler is. But anyway, I'm not worrying about it. I'm at 0 nitrite now. Ammonia's going right down because of the cold temperatures. I've turned the feeders off. The settings, my settings that are set in are now on off, so there's no food going in, apart from when I came in today. I just put a few pellets in, probably about 10 pellets. And so I am off. I'm off to a flying start, hopefully, come growing season, because the water's nice now. I've noticed marks on the fish are recovering, because obviously, even though I've got, you know, something in to buffer against the toxicity of the nitrite and ammonia, it still affects the fish. I'm pretty sure about that. It definitely affects the fish still. One thing I've been on my mind, not on my mind, but I think about, is with ponds and pools, is how we control nitrate. How we control nitrate. So I have been thinking, shall I have this running into, I don't know, it just is where it gets messy, a plant filter. Because I know my plant filter on that main pond, that nitrate is always low. It's never above 20, really low, and phosphates as well. And I know that that improves the health of koi, because I've seen it. I've had in this one, this 500 litre one, when I had that running in here, the nitrate was above 80 ppm, and I found that the fish were lethargic, so on and so forth. Then as soon as I got that nitrate reduced, they just seemed to get a bit more buoyant, you know. So it's very important, and a lot of people disregard nitrate. So if anybody says, oh, you don't have to worry about nitrate, don't believe them. Do some research, because it does affect the fish. So on that note, fish are looking good. Let's have some warmer weather. This has been, the filter's been cleaned out on this and that, and there's not a lot. There's nothing else to report. There is one thing actually, I'll keep you a little bit of, give you a little bit of info. I have Koi Wholesale, Ricky Stoddart, got a bowl of Sakai Fish Farm Tancho Sanke, and they're really good quality. And the parent set, or parent, I don't know whether it's female, I don't know whether the parent set, but they're called Thunderstorm. And these quality of the fish, the 10, there was only 10 available, or I was only selling 10, were really good quality, and they sold within 15 minutes. And I was and ahhing, and the one that I wanted was still available, and I still ahhing on the internet, and you just cannot get the fish, you cannot get hold of the fish like this. And if you see equivalents, if you can get them to 50 centimetres and so on, you look on dealers' websites, you're talking £2,500–3,000. And I couldn't even see any Sakai Fish Farm Tancho Sanke for sale in the UK. So yeah, I think I made the right choice. So they're not in the country yet. They are to get them at Koi Wholesale, quarantine them for 6 weeks, so on, evaluate them, and then we'll get an opportunity for Koi Wholesale to grow them on for us, if we choose to do so. So yeah, that's something to look forward to. Something I'll show you. The fish, I think, were 16, 20 cm. So they're only young fish. But most of them, or all of them, had really nice coloured edge spots, nice patterns. Some bennies showing, but not all of it. You can just see some underlined to keep you tempted. So yeah, that is going to be my riskiest purchase. There's no doubt about that. It cost just under 500 quid, and it will be going, when I get it, in here. So I think I will take advantage of the growing on fee. I think it's 180 quid, and I think that's for the season actually. It's not just 1 month or anything like that. I think that to take it through to the following autumn. So you probably get, they're going to come in the country, I think, February, or end of January, February. And then they're gonna quarantine them for 6 weeks. So they're not going to be growing them on that, you know, aggressive or anything like that. But they might put a couple of centimetres on then. And then they're going to, you know, they've got an option to either buy them, ship them into our own grow-ons, whatever people want to do, or keep them there with Ricky for Ricky to grow on as a batch in his growing pond, and hopefully get some size on them. And I think that is what I'm going to do. I mean, it sounds a lot of money, £180 on top of £500, but if at the end of it you've got these are obviously Tosai at the moment, if you then going into Nisai and he can get them to maybe 30, 35, 40 cm, if you add that onto your 500, you've got a really decent fish, a really quality fish. And most of us, you know, probably aren't going to be able to get that out of them over the growing period. So I anticipate that 180 will be for May, June, July, August, September maybe, and then delivery September. I don't know, those details aren't out yet, that's what I'm assuming. So yeah, watch this space, watch this space. I will show you a picture of it, and yeah, something to look forward to. I've got the Tamasaba to come, and I've got the Goshki, the Kuro Goshki, the Maritime, really dark black one on the image it was, so that's to look forward to. So lots coming up, lots to look for. And I just hope I can do this Sakai fish justice, and hope to God I don't have a mishap, like it jumping, getting caught, I don't know, something happening to it, because that's the dread in it. When you start spending good money on fish, that's always the risk. And I've lost a decent shower this year. Oh no, it was the Kohaku. That's probably worth 400 quid it was. You know, so then it starts getting a bit more serious, don't it? But that's the maximum that I was willing to pay, really. But like I say, it's just a case of then, do I take a punt on 180 for Ricky to grow it? And then at the end of it, just think you've got a cracking fish that will hopefully put on 10-15 centimetres, double in size, and then get it shipped. Or do I get it on here on my own Sakai? In with ease. Decisions, decisions, decisions. I hope you're all okay. I hope you all come out of this cold spell. Let's get some bloody warmth now, come on. And if you haven't hit the like button yet, please hit the like button, really appreciate it if you do. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. And if you have subscribed, thanks for the support, I really appreciate it, and see you on